Hello, this is my video response to the second mentor meeting that I had. Me and my mentor met on Monday of this week. We met at Starbucks again. That is the place we agreed to meet over a cup of coffee, just an easy connection tool. And so, yeah, we met at Starbucks. My mentor and I have decided on like a more structured approach, I guess, where we both are looking at something, preparing that, and then developing questions and answering, developing questions and then answering those questions back and forth. And so for Monday, we both listened to two podcasts from Craig Groeschel called Leading Up. Craig Groeschel is pastor of Life Church, if you've heard of him, but he does a leadership podcast. And this segment was on leading up, and it's the idea of basically how to lead when you're not in charge and how to serve your people that are above you and to serve your other staff members, and just doing all that knowing that you're serving the people you work with. And so we spent a lot of time talking about how Dave, my mentor Dave Fladong, how he serves his staff members, how he encourages them, specific ways he tries to reach out with them, and then also by being part of a larger structured church where he is actually part of an alternative campus. He's part of a separate campus than where the leadership team is centered. So we talked a lot about what it's like carrying out decisions that are given to him, or decisions that he wasn't necessarily made a part of happening, and how he works with those and deals with those and works through those. And so we spent a lot of time discussing that, and how he carries those out, how he has a positive attitude about those things, and how he works in carrying out decisions that he himself didn't have an opportunity to maybe make. And so that was helpful. And then another key thing we talked about was evaluations, and like how he evaluates his staff, how he develops goals, and how he evaluates his staff member, but also how he's evaluated. And so he talked a lot about how evaluations are a lot easier when it's not just one session where you rip that person. And so one helpful tip was, he said, a person should never hear something in an evaluation they hadn't heard before. And so that was very eye-opening and helpful, that we should always be providing encouragement, positive comments, and giving compliments, but also giving correction when correction is needed, and pointing out better ways to do things when we can, when it's appropriate. That way our evaluations are more goal measurements and measuring progress, rather than just being this 1 hour session where you're just ripping the other person. And so that was valuable. I am going into a position where I will have to evaluate others, but also I myself will be evaluated. And so I think just the way he structured that and talked about that is a good way of learning to take care of your team, to be a good leader, to watch over your team. And so I believe that to be helpful. And so we are meeting on the 26th when I get back from Mexico. We're going to meet, and we are talking about a book. We have an executive book review that we're going to go over and talk about, and then he just gives me an opportunity maybe to talk about life questions as well. Like this past week we talked about in-laws and what that's like, balancing my wife and I as parents, and what it looks like to be appropriate and safe and not favor one, and to respect both well, because they all mean the most to us. And so I'm just learning that balance. And so there's just minor things, there's little things we talk about, and then also a lot of big things, and it's been helpful and beneficial so far. So have a good night. Bye.